it kind of reminds me. We do tend to collapse whenever Tamim's out, or whenever he
Yeah,
goes out. Whenever he goes out for a duck. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember. I remember us collapsing whenever that happens. But that,
almost every time.
yeah, I mean, but what does that say about us though? Like, surely that's a mental thing too, because other guys have skills. They'll put in the hours in the net, but you see your most senior guy go out like that, and that's it. You don't put up a fight after that. I mean, I just wonder what that says about our mental game going into these games with Tamim going out or him not being there. But
Yeah.
that made me think. All right, so welcome guys to the Yorker. This is the 12th episode. You can see there's two of us here. I'm Roey on the maroon
Uh,
shirt. That's Rinat, and Mufi, our other co-host, is missing. He's taking a trip. He told me so. Wherever you are, Mufi, are watching this, have a good time. It's just me and Rinat here. Speaking of good time, we're not having a good time right now. We saw two matches. We made a preview about the Afghanistan match previously. We saw how that transpired, and then we were still giving the Tigers a shot, a chance versus the India match, and that didn't go as smoothly as we expected. Uh, and now we're at a point where we're not giving them a chance anymore. Like we have a game against them tomorrow versus Afghanistan, and I was kind of reading the boards, forums, just to get the ether, the feeling out there, what people are saying, and now the time has come where there's zero expectations. So, Renat, what did you, uh, if you could just package it all together, these two games, like how do you feel? Like, what do you think happened? What went wrong?
well, I'll be honest. I think it was a way too much of overthinking, both by the think tank, by the team players, by management, by coaching staff, everyone. It's even the fans. I think they got so fixated on this scheduling issue. They were so fixated on the fact that we're playing back-to-back games. That's all they cared about, and they walked away from what actually matters, the result. I mean, yeah, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. I play a little bit of cricket too, and sometimes I get worn off in like 30 degrees Celsius. I can only imagine what they are going through in 44, 45 degrees Celsius. But it's just it's just two ODI games back to back. I get it. It's tough. I know they're talking about that journey issue, but hey, come on, Dubai to Abu Dhabi takes less time than going from Mirpur to Uttara in most giving days. So I think we just overanalyzed it and we overthought the stuff that does not matter. Uh, I was okay with the idea of resting the players that actually got rested against Afghanistan, because the team that we're playing, they still had the capability of winning that game. But I felt like they took the game way too easily when they were bowling, way too easily. They kind of expected all the wickets to crumble on its own, and it did for a lot of the wickets. The first 5 6 wickets, it happened more to their mistakes than our feats, but I felt like that's what they expected throughout, and that's where they scored those extra runs. And then now at the halfway stage, they're like, "Oh shit, we're chasing 250 against a team that we were not exactly expecting to chase anything over 150. That's 100 runs extra right there." And then when they came out to bat, it was like it was sad, if I can find a word for it. It was very sad. They didn't have any approach. Their batting looked like they had no plan. If their plan was just to play out, then they were basically planning to play out all five all the bowlers, right? I did not see any intent
Yeah.
for going after any bowlers. Like I get it that Mujib's a hard bowler to go after. I get it. Rashid Khan is one of the best bowlers in the world right now, but there wasn't any intent against other bowlers either, right? And that kind of makes me question that what was the plan that they had in their mind when they came out to bat, because we didn't see one. Uh, but we kind of didn't have much time to grieve about the first game, and then we went to the second game,
Yeah.
and we kind of expected that, okay, I guess the players were all on battery saving mode for the first game, and they're gonna go all high performance on the second game, but that didn't happen. Uh, and and the second game, basically, their batting was, I don't know, it was the same story. I didn't see any intent, and it was just like it was wickets after wickets after wickets. When you are five down effectively in the you know, first half of the game, then there's no coming back against the best side in the world, right? It's
Right.
not like you're facing Zimbabwe or West Indies or something where you get like a sizable total and then you choke them down. It doesn't happen with India. Against India, you have to dominate for at least you have to dominate a majority of 100 overs. That's how you win against them. So
Right.
it was a very bad
Right.
effort in general.
But
But
that's a great summary. I mean, it just
yeah,
listening to you just reminded me. I just relived the two games, and so many different points just came to me. I wrote them down. Uh, so yeah, it was a total collapse. There's no better way to put it. Like it took me back. Like if I was in a time machine, it took me back to the 90s. It was a collapse of that type of nature. Everyone struggling, not putting up a fight, showing no guts, just being at the mercy of the Afghanistan bowlers. So the only guy who showed some type of fight in both the games was Miraz. So if you can pick out some positives, I guess that would be one of them. Maybe this is his a revelation series. He can keep this up. We know he's a pretty good off spinner, but if he can put up such fights in the future with the bat, that'll be a good thing. And I
yeah,
guess Hyder, his inclusion was justified in the first game. It's just that the batsmen were so poor. Like I feel like Afghanistan can have one of those days where they get 250. That's entirely possible. Any new teams coming into the scene still have those days, so that's fine. You concede 250, but then again, you'd expect the batsmen that we have in the lineup to put up a fight. And starting right from the top, I know you really wanted Shanto in the team. He didn't come good, but I'm willing to let him go off the hook. It was just it's his first tour. It's in a foreign pitch, so that's fine. But man, apart from him, like all the other guys, it's just inexcusable. And every Tiger fan is just suffering right now. I mean, why do they all kind of go bad at the same time? Like Lito and everyone else from there on, really. Even Riyadh, even the experienced ones, they tried, but they couldn't.
yeah.
They just couldn't. So,
And
uh, yeah,
I'll be honest. I'll be very honest with you. I think with Tamim gone, I think at that point the think tank needed to do some adjustments. With Because Tamim has been our anchor player, and when you have someone like that who guarantees you a long innings or a stable innings, let's say 7 out of 10 days, you can afford to have young players and Shakib up the order. But with him going out, they should have reassessed the situation and be like, no, 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 maybe we need to hold Shakib back because we are lacking experience right now and we are lacking stability. So with Tamim there, it's fine because he holds one end and we can afford to have the Shakib kind of player. But without him, it kind of made Shakib pretty useless at that point. So it needed some reshuffling. It needed some new strategies, but which they did not come up with. And it also tells us how dependent we are on Tamim Iqbal. for a decent total. Forget about a good total, a decent total. Like throughout the West Indies series, that's the one of the reasons why our batting was so good is because he got the starts every single game, and it's something to worry about. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It kind of reminds me. We do tend to collapse whenever Tamim's out, or whenever he goes
Yeah,
out. Whenever he goes out for a duck. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember. I remember us collapsing whenever that happens. But that,
almost every time.
yeah, I mean, but what does that say about us though? Like, surely that's a mental thing too, because other guys have skills. They'll put in the hours in the net, but you see your most senior guy go out like that, and that's it. You don't put up a fight after that. I mean, I just wonder what that says about our mental game going into these games with Tamim going out or him not being there. But
Yeah.
that made me think of something. So right after when he got out, do you think they should have immediately called for Shomo or another proper opener, or should we have moved someone like Rahim up, Mushrika Rahim up at number one?
Um, well, they kind of knew that Shakib may not play. Tamim actually had a bit of an injury problem even before the Asia Cup started, so that's why they took Shanto. So their first plan to begin with wasn't right, in my opinion.
Yes.
Shanto should have never gone to the UAE for this tournament, and I said this before that I would rather have someone like Shanto debut in a series against teams like Zimbabwe, West Indies,
Yeah.
Sri Lanka
You
at
don't play them.
home, yes, where he gets an extended run and his lack of performance initially wouldn't cost us too much. But here, we are in a situation where he has to perform. Not only is our best batsman out of the team, we are also at a tournament where we can't really afford to make a lot of mistakes. Our reputation is at stake here. Our points are at stake here. So, and we are facing tougher opponents in tougher conditions. So it was a bad call in the first place. I'm not sure if Shomo was or is the right call, but I think Imrul would have been a decent call. I'm not a fan of Imrul. Let me just clarify that, and I don't
I
think
am.
most people are.
I am though.
I'm not a fan of him, but it's true that he is the kind of guy, and I was thinking about it. He is the kind of guy that has been coming in and out of our team, in the ODI team especially, for the last few years, and he has been used as a last resort every time, and he was never given a proper run. He was certainly not given as big of a run as Liton is getting or as Anamul got. He didn't. I don't think he got 7, 8 games in a trot in the last few years at least. He was usually brought in as a cover for an injury. He would play 1 or 2 games, and then when Tamim or whatever whoever the injured person is recovers, he would be dropped again. And if you look at his performance in the last few years in ODIs, it's actually pretty good. It's actually better than Shomo, Liton, you name it,
Yeah.
Anamu. So he would have been a decent call, especially because we had so many young guys in our team. Having someone experienced as a backup would have been a smarter choice. Uh, it's never too late.
Right.
I think he is brought in, and I hope he plays ahead of Shomoda, because I think Shomo is going to be a carbon copy of what Liton and Mominul and Shanto
Yeah.
is right now.
That's so good.
Uh,
I just can't believe you're on point today, man. This shoes. I feel the same way because I mean, even look at the game that Pakistan played. Oops, the sensors just went out. Hold on. This place, give me some time.
Here we go.
Yeah, sorry guys, viewers who are watching this. You just have to go near the sensor, and the light comes back on. Because at this spot, I'm in the corner of this room. So after like 20 minutes, it goes off by itself. So what were you talking about? Oh yeah. So even if you look at the game versus Pakistan and Afghanistan, it was the experienced guy, Shoaib Malik. right?
Yeah.
Who saved them, who basically saved them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Afghanistan would have lost too. And I think we have a taboo in the BCB Bangladesh cricket team where we just don't bring guys back, but we might seriously have to consider that given the experience they have. I mean, forget what they did if they're tossed out too early, but the fact is they've got the benefit of experience that even established people today who are in the team, like Riyad and Mushfiq, they got that benefit. Only few guys like Tamim and Shakib they're able to perform from day one. Even the
Yeah.
other guys in the core, they needed their time. So surely what that means is we should, having played in the team, being part of the locker room, being part of the setup, that should count as a merit point. Every time you're selecting somebody, that should be part of the inclusion criteria. So it shouldn't be treated as a joke if you talk about guys like Sharia Nafis, Marshall Ayub. If you talk about these guys, this shouldn't be a joke. I mean, they should seriously be considered sometimes, especially to keep, especially to keep the new crop on their toes, like Anamul, Shummo. So yeah, I just wanted to repeat that point of yours. I think it's valid.
Yeah. And well, some people that are listening that may think that I am against the idea of giving new players a chance or an extended run. I'm really not. But these guys were introduced way too early, and they're expected a lot. I mean, these guys should be given an extended run when they're 25, when they're 26, not when they're 20. That's when most of these guys started. A lot of these guys started when they're like 19 or 20 years old. And we have been giving them an extended runs ever since. And now we're getting to a point where they may be improving at this point, but we are running out of time on them because, we have invested so much time on them already.
Yeah,
So, and then you have guys like Imrul, and you have Sharia Nafis, and you mentioned Marshall Ayub. These are the guys that are, it is their prime age right now. So if they were given a chance, if they're given a proper training with our coaching staff, with our facilities right now, then there's a higher probability of them performing.
right.
But this is a good old argument. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much of it now. Maybe we can have a discussion on this after the Asia Cup about this uh, young and old player
Yeah,
debate. But for now, we are at our knockout game potentially, and we have to win this. I mean, I don't think we deserve to win the Asia Cup at this point, to be very honest. But again, still, as a Bangladeshi fan, I do hope that we win the rest of the two games, um, and this is our last chance. So I hope that our players are self motivated because they're the ones that can win us the game. The think tank, the coaching staff, the management, they can't do much anymore. It has to be them. They tried. Our coaching staff, I've seen how hard they worked before the Asia Cup. Our management tried to get them early in Dubai, got them the training they wanted, and now they made a sudden change. Albeit it's a debatable one, but still they're trying. So from everyone else's point of view, they're doing their job, they're trying. The players have to do it now.
yeah, yeah. They have to deal with it. And like you said, the game is tomorrow. It's just
Yeah.
that when you have performances like these, it makes you reevaluate everything you ever imagined about your team. It kind of brings it into focus. So those discussions, I mean, we should have them pretty soon. I think about what to do
No,
because this could happen in the World Cup. This could happen in any trilateral series. It could
yeah.
resurface again, especially
Yeah.
on foreign soil. Uh,
Yeah.
let's talk about the bowling a little bit because I think the
Okay.
points you made they covered the batting issues pretty well.
Batting, yes. Right.
Why on earth did Mushrafi experiment that much? Do you have any insight into this? Like, why did he bowl
Against against Afghanistan?
against Afghanistan? Why did he bowl eight
Y-
bowlers?
Yeah. Well, I told you that, and I said it when I was making a summary that they basically took a very laid back effort against Afghanistan, especially when they were bowling. They were just expecting wickets to fall on its own, and part of the reason being, I don't think Mashrafi was planning to bowl his seamers to their full quotas, thinking about what's coming up the next day. He didn't want to drain them up, and
Oh, that makes sense.
that's
I
why.
see. Yeah.
And Mashrafi himself, I saw his bowling in the first two spells, especially, and his action was actually different. If you look very carefully, he was not bowling his usual action. He was only bowling his actual action and actual run up in his last spell. But in his first two spells, I was actually surprised. I for a moment I thought, is he injured? Is he having some difficulty? But then when he was bowling his usual in the last spell, I figured that it's probably on purpose. He wasn't really bowling his full. And it's obvious because he's our best opening bowler and he did not come in the power plays, right?
Yeah.
So that tells you that their plan from the beginning was to give their bowlers a rest, and that's what they did. Was not a wise move. I wouldn't call it a wise move, to be honest, because again, if they won against Afghanistan and then lost against India, I don't think the fans or the media would have been this angry, because let's face it, it's India versus Bangladesh. We're not automatically expected to win that game, but against Afghanistan, we're expected to win it, right? There's pride at stake there. So they tried to take a gamble on a bigger team, and then at that process, they gave up what they could have won pretty easily, I think. And I don't agree with that. But I want to ask you though, uh, what do you think about Miraz's bowling? Because I felt like he is improving tremendously in the shorter format. What did you think about his bowling in general? And do you think that, considering the fact that our spinners have been doing better, do you think that maybe Opu should have been given a spot?
Right. Mirage, I don't rate him that high, you know, but we're at that age where we're the age of Mustafizur and Rubel on his day. So I feel like Bangladesh is a team of pacers now. We have moved away from that Abdur Razak era where we used to be spin heavy.
Yeah,
So given that context, I think Miraz has crafted a spot for himself in the team, which is great. His economy continues to be good. I would like more wickets from him to be a wicket taking bowler, but his economy is really good. So yeah, I agree with you that he did pretty good, and even he showed that in this tournament. And given the fact that he was the under 19 captain and it was such a good bat, so given that fact that he can always come good with the bat, you would always want him in the team. And yeah, I mean, I four pacers is a bit too much, so I feel like Opal always is a place to come in the team. Even
no, it was three pacers. They played three
oh
spacers.
right,
They rested Mustafiz. Yeah.
right, right. So who the question is, if I wanted him in, who would I have dropped? Right? I no, I don't think we could have made that luxury. And
Okay.
I'm not that big of a fan of Opu to begin with. I don't think it turns it that much. So yeah, I don't think he would have made a difference. I still hold the batting accountable, and much less the
Oh
bowling,
yeah.
except
Oh
the
yeah.
except the experiments. That's the part I really made me sick. Like I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
Mashrafi was doing this, but surely he must have understood now that Afghanistan they're legit. You know, if he didn't know it back then, he knows it now. Even in the ODI format, not just the T20, they can they're good. I mean, they're gonna run you close. Even foreign teams, Australia, New Zealand, I think they're gonna run them close. Any team they play against, they're gonna run them close. And so, which again brings us back to tomorrow's game, which we have against them. So we can get into the lineup, I guess, unless
Yeah.
you had any other major points you wanted to talk about.
No, I don't. The only point I was gonna talk about, it's just the fact that if you see our game against Afghanistan and India, we gave up we gave up most of our wickets to spinners. And that's something new for me. Like, not exactly new, but I've been seeing this in the past few years, that we are struggling against spin more now.
Oh yeah,
And it's something to worry about, to be honest, because we are a subcontinent team. We are going to be playing subcontinent teams more often than not. And if you happen to be a team that struggles against spinners, then you're not going to go a long way. All right.
oh yeah.
And I think because we gave 4 wickets to Jadeja, who is an ordinary bowler, we
Right. I mean,
completely got destroyed by the Afghanistan spinners. Even though, I'll be very honest, even Rashid Khan, I found him to be a good bowler, not someone that's unplayable by any means. So
Right.
it's something that I hope that they look at after that tournament. But yeah, for now, let's.
You, you, no, it's a really good point. I think you've pressed on the main issue because people are gonna go in so many different directions after these two games, conspiracy
Yeah,
theories, whatever. I mean, they're gonna go in 100 different directions. But this, to me personally, this is the main issue that just can't play spin, and it's been going on for the last 2 years. Like
yeah,
we have so many bad memories of the team just not being able to play spin. And
right.
I don't care too much about the subcontinental thing. That could be just a stereotype, but I care about the team itself. Like, what are these guys doing? Are they not taking care of their basic techniques? What the coaches teach these players when playing against spin? Because
Yeah,
you're supposed to be getting out uh, when you try like a boundary hitting shot. You're supposed to be getting out to those deliveries, but you're not supposed to be getting out to a defensive technique, right? Like on that's the way it goes generally. You're supposed to be able to block even the most basic batsman, so you can build up pressure, but only when the batsman tries to hit a boundary shot, then he gets out. But in our case, it's
it's both.
even trying to
It's both. Yeah.
defend the shot they get out. So yeah, so we can get into the lineup. Do we have both Shomo and Kayas at our disposal, or do you have the latest on that? I don't. But
We
say you
do,
do.
but
Say
we
you
we
do.
do. Yeah. Again, I'm not sure about Shomo. I don't know if he'll be any better. Well, I don't know if anyone will be any better, but just for
Actually,
just my opinion.
Rinat, it made me think. How about we do this lineup together? So we
Yeah.
go with player by player. So
Okay.
we have a lineup we both can agree on,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we'll argue. If you don't like it, then we're
Okay.
gonna argue it out. Okay.
So who do you think? Who do you think? Who's your two openers for this game? You're taking a minute.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's so sad what happened to Shanto. But he should have never been in the first place. I have to agree. I
Yeah.
think I want
Yeah.
Piton and Kayas if it's
Yeah,
up to
that's
me.
exactly what I would have. That's exactly. I would not change anything. Leaton, I think, give him this series. If he doesn't perform, then as much as I like him, you'll have to be dropped, and I'll bring in Kais. Yes, just one uh,
Right.
helping hand. And so Leaton and Kais. I'm just gonna. So they are both there, and I hope that they make it uh, to the XI. I'm just gonna check something really quick. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So who do you have for number 3 and 4?
Yeah, 3 and 4.
That's
So
yeah.
this is a big one because I used to be a big proponent of having Shakib in three, but
Okay.
in light of the recent matches, maybe the whole West Indies good form was an aberration. It just could be. So now I want Mushfiq coming in number three. I would have Shakib at four. So I want Mushfiq
Okay.
at three, Shakib at four.
Yeah. If you see my post at bc.com, like I just did it
Oh, did you?
15 minutes ago. That's exactly what I had.
All right.
I would have Mushi at number 3 and Shakib at number 4. Just because we just need some stability up the order. We can't have 3 wickets falling that quick. And even though I'm not saying that Mushi is gonna he's a guaranteed performer, but more consistent than Shakib, I
His
would say.
technique is way better.
His technique is more stable. Yes, right.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So five and six.
right now we're perfectly aligned with the top four, which is awkward, not awkward, which is weird and great at the same time.
I did
But so
struggle. I don't know if I want to put Shomo in there, but uh, 'cause I'm
so
a big fan of both actually. I like Kai's as well. I've always been a
yeah,
big fan of Kai's, so I think if
yeah.
it's we can try Kai's out. So yeah, 5 and 6. Uh,
So 5 and 6, I'll just tell you what I think.
all
So
right.
5, 6, I'll just tell you 5, 6, and 7, and 5, 6, and 7 I'll have. So after Shakib, I would have Mitun coming in.
Okay.
Uh, just because he performed in one of the games when no one else performed, so it doesn't make
Sure.
sense for to
Sure.
drop him. Uh, so him and then Riyadh, and then I would bring in Ariful in the squad,
Oh wow.
and I'll tell you why. I think we have given a lot of chance to Musaddiq, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the national team, but he shouldn't be that down the order. And even on a saving situation, which I was hoping that he would be able to perform better, he still failed. So I think we've given him a lot of chances, and it's just plain unfair to sit out Ariful for the whole tournament when we picked him for the squad, and a more he was a better candidate from the get go to play that lower order role. And so I just think, just for the fairness of it, I would put Ariful there. And I don't think we need his bowling. Mira, I don't think we need Mossadegh's bowling. We have five bowlers, and we're gonna bowl those 50 overs. If we need someone's bowling, I honestly think Riyadh is a better bowler, and he can be used. So that's my 5, 6, and 7. What do you think?
I think that's good. It's I also want Mitun in there for sure. I
Yeah,
think he should be given a full chance, especially after what he showed with the bat in the first match. Uh, will I put him ahead of Riyadh? Yeah, sure. You might want to save Riyadh for later on if it gets too bad. You also want to give
yeah,
Mitun enough balls to face, because again, that makes it more fair for him as a newcomer to get
right.
the feel of the ball on the bat. So Mitun, Riyadh. Ariful, I'm not too sure about, but it might be a pick 'em because I'm just so disappointed. Like most fans, I really don't care if it's Mossadegh or Ariful. I just want someone who's gonna do good.
Yeah,
Mossadegh, I feel, has the advantage. If it was me, I would pick Mossadegh because I would want
okay.
his bowling. You also asked me about Opu, right? And this kind of fits into that answer. I feel like when you have Shakib, Miraz, and Mossadegh between those three guys, and if Riyadh if needed, there's no reason to bring in a specialist spinner unless the guy's really like someone like Rashid or something. And we don't, I don't think Opu is that person. So that's why I'm not going to have him. So I would have Mossadegh, but we have to agree, right? So you
No, we
still,
don't. We don't have to agree. Uh, I understand why you want Mossadegh. I mean, we know his batting. We know he is capable. So I understand why a lot of people would not want to gamble, especially now. But again, for me, as I said, it's just for the fairness of it. I mean, Ariful deserves a chance. I mean, Mossadegh did get a lot of them, so I think it's about time we see what the other guy can offer. And when we talk about Opu, I was proposing Opu to be there instead of one of the steamers, or especially Rubel. I'm not gonna have six bowlers. I'm not gonna play I'm not gonna propose any team which has four full time or five full time bowlers, because we don't have the luxury to have that. So if Opu comes in, it will be in expense of one of the steamers. In that case, we'll have two steamers going on. The only reason I suggested that is because I have been seeing that Mash has been using spinners, especially Miraz, for his early over anyways. He hasn't been using Rubel until like 15, 20 overs. So at that point, I just kind of feel like, can Rubel pick up wickets? Yes, he can. But at that point, I think another spinner could take advantage of the older ball, anyways. So that's the whole reason.
yeah.
But I understand. Um,
I want us to agree because we'll do something new. The viewers out there, in the end, will put up a final lineup. So, but that's why I said we're going to hash it out between ourselves if we disagree on a point. So I'm willing to give you Ariful because I think it's a pick 'em. Like I said, I really don't care. And on the other hand, I'm the type of person who always want to give guys chances. So
yeah,
eventually, I kind of held out for Ariful. I felt like he just came into the T20 lineup. He should be given more chances. But hey, if it means giving a brand new face, a fresh, like a new chance, and Mossadegh, he's had his chances both home and away, and he was good. But you know what? Even Nasir Hussain, his run of form extended more than Mossadegh. So on that, going by that, I could bring an Ariful at 7. So okay, so we have Mitun at 5, Riyadh at 6, Ariful at 7. Okay, let's talk about the last four guys now.
the last
Uh,
four is, again, it's pretty set, right? You're gonna have Miraz, Mashrafi, Fizz, and Rubel. Is just a matter of who comes first. Is it Miraz or is it Mash? And it's gonna depend on the situation. If we're not in a good situation, Miraz comes first. If we are in a good situation, Mash comes first. It's pretty simple. Now that only debate remains whether we want to play three seamers in a tournament we have been seeing the spinners do very well. That's the only thing to talk about.
Well, when you put it like that, Rinat, yeah, you do make it very make it a pretty convincing case.
I'm just going by the games, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Pakistani spinners
but I
did
mean,
good. Indians did good.
but do you
Indians are
but
playing three spinners, right?
do you look at the skill set or do you look at the person? Because look at the batting.
No, I look at the skill set too, but I don't think that Rubel or
Well,
Ronnie
the
in
reason I
this
say that
condition.
the reason I say that, look at the batsmen. Our batsmen just can't play spin, while the other guys can. The Pakistani guys can. The
True, but our spinners have also done better though. If you like Shakib and Miraz have been very economical in both the games. They have been economical, and they picked up decent wickets. Uh, and so that was part of the reason. But again, maybe though against Afghanistan, I would still have Rubel because I think his pace is an advantage against them. Uh,
there's someone here we're not talking about, which is Haider. Well, how do you
okay.
feel about him getting in instead of? But who though? Mash, no, is the captain. Mustafi's of course not. Is their prime bowler, wicket taking bowler. So Rubel, Opu, and Haider. We're down to
Yeah.
those three. You have to pick one. You have to agree on a person between. Uh, Rubel has his days, but
He has been pretty good this tournament. I'll be honest. He a
the
lot of
one.
the times he was brought in late. He didn't have the advantage of a new ball. He still got some wickets. But for Ronnie, I'll tell you
But
this because I'm
but
a big fan of Ronnie.
he did in
I'm a,
Rubel. I mind you, just to uh, just to remember the first game. He wasn't good versus Afghanistan, was he? No. Well, on
mm,
the other hand, Haider was good. He was good
yeah.
against Afghanistan. So yeah, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. But the only reason I may want Rubel in there is because I'm a big fan of Ronnie, and like Shanto. I believe in giving him an extended run, and I would rather do that against a weaker opponent because I don't want to see Ronnie get some broken games here and there and then get dropped.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
yeah,
That's the only thing. But I'm a big fan of Ronnie. If he plays, I will be very happy. But if he gets a chance, I hope he gets an extended one. But but looking at the fact that Rubel has been our main bowler, I
right,
kind of don't see that
right,
happening unless
right,
Ronnie can perform really well, and
right.
that just puts an unnecessary amount of pressure on him, which I don't want.
Yeah, exactly. No, no, I agree with you. Uh, I'm a big fan of Ronnie as well.
Yeah,
Possibly a bigger fan of him than you. But I've been watching his action, and he did well against Afghanistan. But I don't know. It wasn't all in there. I still prefer some more pace, some more accuracy. I kind of felt
yeah,
like he got kind of lucky. He did good, and I praised him. But this isn't the. I wasn't too convinced by his action. I feel like they can take him apart. Someone like Shehzad from Afghanistan, he can totally take apart Rodney. No problem. He can do that. Whereas with Rubel, there's more of an X factor to him. I feel like he'll have a harder time. It depends on Rubel as well, right? Like what kind of balls he. If he's bowling wide, then no. But if he's giving in his Yorkers, the Yorker, right? But yeah,
I think tomorrow, and because it's not a dead rubber game, I just hope that whatever the plan is, their plan should be if Afghanistan is batting first, the plan should be to not go easy for even one over, and just go at it. If even if there's 7 wickets or 8 wickets down, don't rest until all 10 wickets are gone. Just clear it up. No part timers if not needed.
yeah,
And I hope for Rubel's sake though, I hope he's brought into the attack earlier, because I have seen him bowl. And I have seen him bowl. Like if I remember correctly, in the 2015 World Cup against Afghanistan, that first spell of Mashrafi and Rubel, that sealed the deal for the whole game. I mean, he was quick, he was zippy, and he ran through their top order. So I would want to see something like that potentially. I think Mashrafi, Fez, and Rubel should share the first 10 overs. I don't really think they need to bring in a spinner, and I know Mash and every Bangladeshi captain tends to bring in an off spinner early on if they see there's a lefty on strike, and I don't think that's always a smart idea. I think the ball when the ball is new, you hand it over to your quickest bowler, which is Rubel, and you let him do it. At least let him try because he deserves it. He's a pacer. He has good pace. He deserves to bowl with the new ball.
Right. No, I agree totally. I think we should, and I'm also happy we could agree on a lineup. I think we should go into
Yeah,
predictions and close it out after that. Uh, it's a do or die game. We should treat it
yeah.
as that at least. Well, I hope for the sake of the boys they're doing that because if they have any even an inkling of imagination of thinking what's it going to be like playing Pakistan, then they're going to lose tomorrow. They should not think about Pakistan.
No, they
They
have
should,
a
they
yeah.
should only think about Afghanistan. That's all they should think about. And if they do that, and with the lineup that we suggested, I feel like we'll win tomorrow. I really do. I don't know what you
I
think,
I I hope so too.
but let's see.
But yeah, I feel like I really hope that Shakib, Mushfiq, Riyadh can bail us out two
Yeah,
more time, hopefully,
yeah,
because it doesn't matter who comes in, doesn't matter who stays. Other than these three guys, I don't see anyone saving our betting.
right.
Uh, but I hope Mushfiq and Shakib and Riyadh, all three of them turn up.
Yeah,
We all we need is a century from either one of them or a couple 50s, and we should win the game. It's not a we don't need to chase for a big total. Hopefully they do it. Yeah.
yep. So thanks guys for joining us. That was all
Yeah.
for a very sad 12th episode, I'd say. But it gave us a chance to talk about a lot of the issues that I think will be even more prevalent in the future. And maybe we should devote just solo episodes to them. With that being said, thanks Renat for coming on. This was very last minute for
Yeah,
both
no,
of us, but
thanks for having me. And just for the fans who were listening, if you were expecting a rant, don't worry, it's coming up. We're just being very, very patient right now. We're being very
I
we're on
tried.
the edge of our
I,
seats.
I actually was about to go off, but then Renat kept making good cricket points, and he kept bringing me back, to the draft.
We will all go off, and then yeah, if we will be a lot harsh after this tournament. It doesn't matter what the result is. So
All right,
unless they
guys.
win the Asia Cup, of course. But yeah,
All right.
thank you, Roey.
Thank you. Bye bye.